we're now very happy to be joined in the studio by Kelly Goldberg Herman and Soraya Deen, both members of the advisory board of the American Muslim and Multifaith Women's Empowerment Council, also called AMMWEC, and they're part of a delegation that's in Israel right now. Thank you so much for coming into the studio, and thank you for your great work and being advocates. I know both of you are lawyers, so I guess whoever wants to go first, please talk about why this work is so important, not only to talk about, to condemn terrorism, but also to empower women to really understand the truth.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having us. This is critical work, and I am so relieved to hear that the UN Women have finally condemned the atrocities committed against my Jewish sisters. It is not acceptable. We will fight that till we die. This morning I led a Twitter space and we called it genocide, not to condemn that was done to our Jewish sisters. And again, as I said, we are glad that they have issued a condemnation. And this war is fought in many fronts for us civilians, because for me as a Muslim woman, I was aghast by the lack of response, not the response, the lack of response from my Muslim community. So I am speaking up louder because coming here has been so meaningful for me to do that even more.
Right, right. And for you here to see, here you are also doing this work, but to see that there are strong women like this, who I know you're also putting your own safety at risk. I mean, we had Anila Ali on an hour ago, and she's scared for her own safety, even in the United States. Why?
I think we all share that sentiment, and as an American Jew, it's particularly something that is forever on the front of my mind, and everywhere that I go, we're seeing it at prolific rates, the universities and beyond, in the streets. It's a continual barrage of anti-Semitism that's coming at us, and certainly in no way should that take away from what Israelis are dealing with. And unfortunately, it's a matter, I think, of even more grave importance, but all the same, as Soraya said, we're here for women, represented as women. We have the ability to use our voice where women don't. And for me, so it was not only as an American Jew, but also as a woman, as a mother, it was so important for me to come here to show my children not to be afraid, to stand up for the people that don't have the ability to do that. Yes, it's a scary time. And yes, every day when I step out of my house, I'm constantly worried that I'm going to be the victim of an anti-Semitic attack. It's something that I can't get away from.
You wouldn't ever think that we would have, as a Jew in the United States, that there would ever be this fear. But also for you, what do you make of the fact that we know the Quran does not talk about this kind of violence? So how do you fight this, this narrative, which is it's disturbing to see day in and day out, hundreds of thousands of people.
The hate is unfathomable. That is why our lives are at risk, as you just said. If you know, I think several years ago, a Bengali editor, his ankles were broken. Then thereafter, a poet in Iraq, I think he was Allah, they engraved the Star of David on his back for supporting the Jews and standing up for Israel. And recently, a Kuwaiti is sentenced for 3 years in prison. This hatred is taught. We have to accept this. This is not a time for constructive ambiguity. This is a time for peacemaking, We can't go any further, we can't go any lower. We have all hit a wall. And it's time for us to really, Hamas can end this war. Why is the burden so much on the Israeli government? This is a question every Muslim should ask. And you might wonder, how can Hamas end the war? We know it. First, release the hostages, especially women and children. It's against Islam. And I stand up for good Islam, the correct Islam, because my progeny, Khadija radiallahu anhu, who is the Prophet's first wife, she was a businesswoman, a powerful woman who raised her voice for injustice. So they need to release the hostages. Two, they need to break open those tunnels and admit these tunnels are not going to work with the Israeli government. And thirdly, call out the perpetrators of October 7th. And fourth, devour this narrative of from the river to the sea. How simple is that? Why is it that the Muslim world is not talking? And people like us, we are putting our life
Are
online.
women afraid, or do you think a lot of women, listen, we know what is done to women and children.
Yes.
We know what is done to women and children. Or do you think women are starting to become less afraid because of the work you're doing? Quickly, because we're running out of time.
Yes. Our voice matters. In times like this, we need to light a candle so that people see the light and gravitate towards the light.
Wow, it's a beautiful set. Any last thoughts before we have to go?
Yes, we're here for you as women. We encourage you to come forward, to stand with us. We are stronger together.
Thank you, really, both so much for coming in, and you've given us reason to have hope and something to smile about, and thank you very, very much. Keep up the very important work you're doing.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
And that is all from the I-24 News Desk at this hour. I'm Emily Francis. We'll be back with more headlines at the top of the hour. Thanks again for watching.